Hi, it's the Great Vanzini, it's never the, it's just Great Vanzini. I always forget that, with a small G. I'm playing a Schecter Corsair from some years back, made in Korea, 24 3/4 inch scale, 22 frets, I think, let me look, 22 frets. And when they first came out with these, they came out with these with Duncan design pickups. And these sound okay. I think most Duncan design you can get away with them in the mix. I think when you play them next to some other really good pickups is when you realize you might want to swap something out. Again, a special made Dusty model. It comes with a Bigsby, I don't remember the model, I want to say a B70 or something like that, but it's a Bigsby B something, right? They're all that. So, you know, it's a 335 knockoff, obviously, with a Bigsby. You know, back in the day it was pretty cheap, you know, in the 500 range, 500 to 600 range, and now I see they have one model listed on the Schecter site that's more like a custom with their own, it's not a Bigsby, it's their own trim system and their own pickups, and it's at, well, one was shown at right at 1,000 and the other one was, I think, 12 or 1,300. But anyway, this thing sounds, I think, really good. I'm playing it today through the Pod Go into a Fender Champion 20 solid state amp, and I like that little amp. It's always a little bit on the trebly side no matter which amp setting you put it on. You know, it's all solid state digital, but then you plug the Pod Go into it and you can EQ the living daylights out of it, and really it just comes alive. And so for a little home practice amp with a Pod Go, that's probably more than, I don't know, it's more than I ever used for a practice amp. I just used anything that was available, but it's actually a good little amp, and especially with the Pod Go. So acoustically it sounds pretty good, albeit after that little hayride a little out of tune, so let me tune. I was putting it through using some sort of a plexi. I mean, that was kind of a Gary Moore-ish sounding chord progression, so I thought, well, a plexi something or other. We'll just get down to a clean, and that's what's great about this. I don't have to, in the E band, I have to go in and search around for a straight clean sound, and here's one right here. Two Duncan design pickups, got the three-way switch. It does have the push-pull. I used that in that last demo. I was switching them around, and you know, they're okay. I think if I were playing live, it'd be fine in the mix. I don't usually, at home, I don't use them. If I want single coil, I'm going to pull out. I want a Stratocaster sound and a Strat single coil kind of sound. I don't remember the name of the finish. It was like a cherry, it's a cherry red, dark aged cherry red kind of, I think they called it walnut, so kind of like the Gretsch. Made in Korea. I think the newer ones are made in Indonesia, but in the day, and I haven't played a new Schecter for ages and years, in the day Schecter did such a great job. They were made in Korea. They were made in Korea, came to the US where they finished them off and set them all up here in the US, and they always had great, this is one of those examples. This is one of my, I say I've got about 5 or 6 guitars that I think have Class A fretwork that are just top notch. This is one of them. Actually, I have 3 Schecters, all 3 are just top notch from back in the day, and they're years old, you know, they're many years old. And so I think Schecter was really doing right, and they may still be, I don't know, I just haven't played a new one for ages now. If I look at this, and like the C1, if you look at the video I did on the C1, I'll put it up somewhere here, C1 Plus, that thing competes with, I would say, like a PRS SE, and even though it doesn't have a trim on it, which I like the trim on solid bodies generally. That thing, it's a cut above almost the SEs, or it's certainly equal to them, if not better than a lot of them. So, of course, it's a years old guitar. They did right. They put a roller bridge way before that was kind of starting to get popular with Bigsby's, and so these all, as far as I know, all of them have roller bridges with the Bigsby's. They did for a while make this as a hardtail, and I think it might have been a signature model. I don't recall. But anyway, that's a Corsair, and I can see I did make a neck adjustment because I didn't tighten down the little cover very well. Gotta do that when I get done here. It's got binding on the body. It's got binding on the F-holes. It's got binding around the headstock, not on the neck though. There's no fancy binding on the neck, but it looks great. It plays great. I think it sounds good. I have to say, I mean, if I sat down next to this with the 335, I'm gonna pick the 335. I don't know what it is with Gibson. At least for some years and sometimes they had something with their laminates or just in their pickups or something. But man, there's just a Gibson tone. I had a 337 custom. Wow, that thing sounded great. It was too nice for me. And so I don't think this compares to that. But then again, these, you know, it's not $3,000. So you know, like I had an ES 165 jazz box, and I've been chasing that tone ever since, and I've never quite, I've come very close, but I've never really gotten there. So an old Herb Ellis, and nothing fancy, all laminate guitar, but I think they do something. So I don't know if it's always fair to compare these to real 335s, considering the price difference and all that. But once I distort it and I put it in the mix, if I'm playing live and I think, man, people are going to love my tone, and then in walks the bass player with an 800 watt amp, 8x10 speaker cabinets, 2x12s, and two 15-inch speakers, and you know, then the drummer comes in with his 7 mic setup that he wants to output to the house system. You know, I don't think it matters at that point. Give it a little more volume here. And so in the bridge, it sounds great. I'm hoping you're hearing this because I'm going through the amp, and the amp is aimed away from the mic, from the camera. And then the backing tracks, I was actually putting them through a Behringer. I should show that. I don't remember what it's called. Earth Live, or I don't know. Euro Live. And it's just a little, that's my house system. It's like a PA, it's got 2 inputs, or 3 inputs maybe. I don't remember. Yeah, 4 inputs, and you can put in a mic, you know, singer-songwriter kind of, if you were doing an acoustic thing. It doesn't sound bad. It's a Behringer. It was cheap. It's not good. I bought a higher grade power amp, still inexpensive, like an American Audio and Alto, still very inexpensive brands, but they're way better than the Behringer. So this is just going through the Fender amp. And let's see, the middle position. Well, let's do that bridge again. There's the middle position with both pickups. It's got a very nice sound. I like that. And the neck position. Now with the single coil splitter thingy popped out. Oddly enough, doesn't change in the neck position, doesn't change the tone that much as it just cuts the volume. Yeah, it changes it enough. Doesn't. Those things are neat, I think, but I hear them and I think, wow, I don't hear that tone as a single coil tone. And we do the same thing with the bridge. And you can just tell it's much more trebly. But that doesn't, when I think single coil, I tend to think Fender. That doesn't remind me of Fender at all. And in the middle position with both of them popped out, there we go. Pushed in. You just see it brings a much, well, I don't know if my little microphone's picking it up or not, but it brings in a much deeper, richer tonal quality just in the humbucker. Back to the bridge. I'm liking the middle position a lot. It just sounds great. And I have no amp sims on the Pod Go. This is just in a blank preset, so it's nothing really set up in there, I don't think. I love the Pod Go with just a pinch of overdrive and some reverb. Anyway, I think that's it for this one. I don't know what else to talk about or say about it. I don't remember. I think a rosewood fretboard back from before rosewood was a problem. And so it's an extremely good playing guitar. It actually sounds good even with the Duncan designs. It would sound, I just think it would be a phenomenal guitar if I ever swapped the pickups out. I'm probably not going to on this one. I'm thinking about it on another one though. I don't want to mess with this one so much, but I've got a Gretsch Streamliner that I might upgrade. I think this thing's probably about 10 years old, probably, and I'm already on the second set of strings, I think. So, yeah, there's just no wear on it or anything, so it just sounds good. So I'm going to let you go. If you'd like, you can do all the things below. Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have a 335-ish guitar or you want one, which ones would you be looking at? I think there's just a lot of alternative options for 335 styles, for Gibson style guitars, and I think there's some really good options out there. If I were doing it today, and I may still, I very well might look at the Guild Newark Street series, the Starfire. Starfire? Is that what they're called? I think. Going way back to the 60s. They were a very popular guitar around my hometown. And I would do it without a Bigsby, of course, because somehow a Bigsby on a 335 style still just ain't right. So anyway, we'll get you out of here.